Guys, what's up and happy Labor Day. Hope you all are having an awesome day. Take a look at my view from Bend, Oregon. Look at all the pines. Such a pretty place in the high desert of Oregon. The barbecue, the hot tub, which has been clutch. Anyways, just want to give you guys a quick update. We have been busy. Obviously, you've heard about Casey's success in Oregon. Eric has been chasing deer in Utah and also elk in Idaho. I'm taking a little breather with my wife in Central Oregon before we get back after it. We've got a really packed fall schedule and are super excited to bring all of the videos to your viewing pleasure, be it on the phone, a desktop, maybe in a gaming station. The goal, if you don't know already, is we're going to post every single day from August 17th all the way through November 30th. We're going to document, capture what we're doing every day of the whole entire season, and you will get a video a day for however many days that is. I'm not great at math, so I don't really know the number, but you're going to get a ton of videos. Yeah, so let us know what you think. Again, I hope you had a great time with your family this weekend or your friends, if you're out chasing elk or deer, whatever that might be. Thank you guys for the support. Have a great night, and we'll talk to you next time.
Freaking gosh, this freaking show giant.
Man, what a day. It's just about last light. It's finally cooling down a little bit here. So I'm gonna shoot the bow and just make sure it's still on. Keep some reps going through the dang thing and make sure I don't get rusty with it. When I have time, tomorrow morning probably, need to unload, take care of all my hunting gear, wash all my hunting clothes, get everything pretty much back in order, so I can get ready to do it all again. Story of my life, but like I said, I'm not complaining. I enjoy it. I'm very fortunate to get out as much as I do, but it is a lot of work. A little part of me that kind of likes my daily routine here, going to the gym and all that. Looks like I need a couple field tips, which, you know what, might be right here. Let's see. Got them. I could only get about 30 yards here at home, so that'll have to do. 40's pushing it, 50 I'd be out in the middle of the road. I kind of live on a main road here. Luckily nobody has ever given me any trouble for shooting. There has been some people that drive by and give me the bad look. But here we go, down Poverty Lane, right down there through the gate. Let's see what we can do. When I get a second, I really need to go. That annoying dog. When I get a minute, I need to take my Redworks down to Wild Arrow. They got a new string for me, and I'd like to put the new string on and tune it and see how good I shoot with it. There we go. Let's go check our group real quick. All three shots actually felt pretty good, but it looks like the group is actually a bit high. Not sure why. There we go. In the money, and then just two a little high. We'll do another group and see what we get. All right. I think that group is even better. My battery's gonna die. Let's run you guys over here to check these real quick. Oh, I pulled on that last one, dang it. First two are nice and tight, high right, and then the third one, I think that's my third arrow. I'll have to go back and look. Not bad. All right, guys, that's it for my little section. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Wow, timeout. Looks like I have a lot of grapes in my backyard. Let's try one. That's why the birds have been back here. Not bad. I just want to say I hope you guys are all having a good season. Hope you guys are enjoying it. I can say from experience, sometimes it can get very frustrating. Stay positive, work hard, and just remember you never know what's going to happen when you get out there and give yourself opportunity. So keep hunting hard, good luck, and have fun, and I'll see you guys in the morning.
So I had this insight last night, this kind of revelation in my mind, or what you might call an epiphany. We were sitting around talking about Hal with his kids and his wife and all the rest of the reunion. Really weren't very many people. It was just Leslie and Joe, you know, her husband, Jim and his son Joseph, and myself, and then all of Debbie's family were there. So we were talking about Hal and they were telling all the stories about how he liked to hunt and all the things he would make them do when they went hunting, you know, how they'd go out and set up camp and you had to do everything right. And it started reminding me of you. Sounds just so much like Casey. And then it dawned on me. That's where your love of hunting comes from. It comes from Hal. And I'm not saying it's genetic or what. Maybe it was just transferred right through me. But that's where you got it. That's who you can blame from now on. It was because of your Uncle Hal and the great love he had for the outdoors. And, you know, he loved to be out in the outdoors. It didn't matter if he was hiking or backpacking, whatever it was.
So every time Kaylee yells at me about hunting, I can blame it on Hal.
Yeah, you got on a picture of Hal and say it's his fault. Exactly.
Like it. Well, it's cool to hear that, Dad, because that means that the tradition was passed on. Hal got it from somewhere and then passed it on to you, and I got it from you that was passed on from Hal, and that's cool.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
That's way cool. That's, I mean, what we should all be trying to do.
Yeah, you got to hunt with Hal. You spent some time with him. You know what he was like. And
Yeah.
how much he cared about it, and how many guns he had archery equipment, he had black powder equipment, he had all the stuff, you know, that you're doing, but he didn't know how to turn it into a lane either. He taught, raised his kids, but he loved that every bit. They told the story of how his goal in life, toward the end of his life, was to hike the entire length of Arizona, right?
Yeah.
He'd been working on it for years and years. And then after he got out of prison, he set out to finish it, not knowing he was going to be sick or anything like that. So he did several different journeys in the 3 years that he lived. And on this last trip, as he finished it up, they were up in the Grand Canyon area. They had hiked down all together. They all got down to the bottom of the Grand Canyon. And then, I guess it was during the day, and everyone said, okay, we'll see you up on the top where the car was. So they all started hiking, and after they got up there, this is his sons, like Porter and Brigham and Heber, and then his son-in-law, I can't remember his name, but he married Ellen, had all gone with him. So they all hiked up to the top, and we're sitting at the car, they're going, well, I wonder where Hal is, you know, it's been several hours, it's starting to get dark, where the heck did he go? So a couple of them went back down, hiked back down, and found him at the bottom of the canyon. He was just chilled out, sitting back, going, hey, how's it going?
Just taking it all in.
Yeah, just taking it all in. And he goes, well, I had heat stroke, and so I've just been resting. I drank all my water, and I've just been resting, let me get, cool off in the evening and stuff, then I was going to come up. So they all decide, well, we'll just camp here tonight. They had their backpacks and laid out their stuff and kind of on the trail and chilled out. And then the next morning, Hal said, I just don't feel good. I don't feel like I have the strength. Go up to the top, and there's that place that's got the mules. Go get them, and it's like $100 for 2 mules. Go get them and bring them down. I'm going to ride one up. So they did. They went and got them, and they brought him back up. And he goes, oh, that's the best $100 I ever spent. But when he got back, that's when he found out he had cancer.
No way.
It spread super quickly. Yeah, just as he finished that hike, he found out. And it spread real quickly. From the time they saw it, they weren't even sure what it was. They thought it was some kidney infection, and they bounced around for a while. They'd taken some pictures early on, some CAT scans of his skeletal structure. There's some really small white spots, but they didn't know what they were at that time. Well, they went back in there a couple of weeks later, and they looked at it again, and they had grown considerably. And they said, you have cancer, you have stage 4 cancer, and you've got a couple of weeks to live. And that's how it all ended.
So did he finish the trek across Arizona?
Yeah, he had just finished it. That was the last leg of it, coming up that side of the Grand Canyon, and going down in it. I don't know. He hiked had been working down from the Utah-Idaho line or something is the way I took it, or Arizona-Utah line, excuse me, and had done several treks already, since he got out, and that was the last part of it, and he finished it, and he got sick and passed away.
That's so crazy. So I know you guys probably didn't understand a lot of that. Pretty cool for me. My dad texted me earlier and said, I know you've asked me a lot of times about why I'm so passionate about hunting and fishing in the outdoors, and my dad's never ever been able to really answer that fully. He was definitely involved in the outdoors and hunting and fishing, and still really enjoys getting out, but he had a half brother who was older than him named Hal, and he was the one my dad was talking about in that conversation, that he just loved to hunt and fish and camp and hike. And what my dad said was like, you got the bug a lot stronger than I ever did, but it was passed down because of my brother Hal. And that's pretty cool to see. Like, we always talk about, you know, getting new people involved and getting other people out to hunt or to fish for their first time, and just showcase that to them, and they'll either enjoy it or they won't, and if they do, hopefully they pass it down. But it could go down a couple generations is what it sounds like to me. And my Hal was an amazing man. He lived in Arizona. He was a school teacher, taught Spanish. I was fortunate to be able to go down on some hunts with him, and he was a big predator hunter. For a long time, he supplemented his school teaching income, because it's just not a lot of money. A school teacher, you know, $30,000-$40,000 a year, supplemented his income by hunting coyotes when the fur price is really high. And he would actually make some years, I remember my dad telling me, he would make more money hunting coyotes on his off time than he would teaching school. But we got to go and enjoy some time with him in Arizona, hunting doves and quail, and a few times calling coyotes. His big goal was to hike, I can't remember the trail, but it's a trail that goes from northern Arizona all the way to the Mexican border. Or maybe it was east-west, I can't remember. It was a trail that basically headed all the way across Arizona. And on one of his adventures out to, you know, basically check one of the pieces of that trail, he was headed back to the truck. He'd gone hiked like 10 or 12 miles for that day, was headed back to his truck, and he had two dogs coming towards him on the trail. And these dogs were barking and very ferocious, and so he fired a couple of rounds. He always had a pistol on him. And so he fired a couple into the ground by the dogs, and the dogs kind of backed up, and then all of a sudden this man, the owner of the dogs, came running after him and running at him, and he was yelling, "I'm gonna kill you, I'm gonna kill you, I'm gonna effing kill you," with something in his hand, in which he thought was either a knife or a screwdriver. My uncle told him a few times, "Stop, or else I'll have to shoot you." And he got to within 10 feet of my uncle, all running downhill at him, and my uncle discharged his gun a few times in this man's chest. And he did everything you're supposed to do and tried to save the man, called 911 immediately. The man ended up dying. Got paramedics there. They came. Within that evening, they discovered that my uncle was defending himself. It was self-defense, 100%. So he went home with just this giant burden on his back of taking a human's life, but at the same time, he knew that he did the right thing, and that was the reason he was alive. Anyway, the wonderful state of Arizona Supreme Court back then reversed the law of the United States and said, the law of the land is you are innocent until proven guilty. Back then, basically, when it comes down to a gun crime, you were guilty until you could prove yourself innocent. And so even though the FBI and everybody showed up and said, man, you were 100% justified for your actions, a few months later, they took him to court, and he fought it, and they went to litigation, obviously, and the jury found him guilty because he was, from what I remember, packing hollow point bullets, which I remember them saying that was a bullet that was made to kill people and not to defend yourself, but to kill people. He had 6 kids, I believe, a wife, had just retired from being a school teacher for 30-something years, and so he went to prison. And it was pretty tough on our family. It was really tough on my grandpa, tough on my dad. He spent a lot of money fighting it, and like I said, school teachers don't make a ton of money, and he retired with enough money to get by. But when they spent all that money to fight this, and he spent, I believe, 6 years in prison before they finally came back and said, this is crap, this is BS, this guy is 100% innocent, and they let him out. And they let him out because, you know, he was just defending himself from a guy that had a proven record of being super violent, threatening people. He was definitely trying to harm my uncle when this all happened. Anyway, so they let him out, and he finally finished. That was the story my dad told. He finally finished the whole Arizona trail that he wanted to complete all his life. And on the final leg is when he got a little sick and couldn't make it out of one area, so they rented him a mule to get out.
He got out, and the next week they found out he had cancer, and he only lived 3 weeks after that and then passed away. But it's just cool to hear, like, my dad saying, like, that's where you got it, man. You make your living doing this now, and I've never been able to explain it to you, but you got it from my brother. And man, I held my dad so high. I hold my Uncle Hal so high. I just want to thank you guys for watching, supporting us to do what we do. Man, it just feels like all these videos are just me crying, but something very ingrained in my soul about the outdoors, about hunting and fishing, but more importantly about passing it on. Just even talking to somebody, your coworker or something about hunting and the importance it is and what it brings to us and our families it's huge. And it's our responsibility to share that and to present the very most positive message there is. Anyway, see you guys tomorrow.